Welcome back to another episode of Djedi Learning. In today's lesson, we will be going over adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Now, a mixed number is simply any whole number next to a fraction. Okay, that is a mixed number. Now, when you want to add and subtract mixed numbers, most of the time you can just simply add the numbers up and the fractions up as you see fit. But sometimes the denominator is different. What do you do then? We're here to solve that problem for you. So, without any further ado, we were visited recently by our good friend Aiyetoro. Aiyetoro said, Baba Kenwould, I've been trading on these apps that allow me to buy fractional shares. And I know Tesla and Apple stock just split. And I want to know how many shares I need and how much money I need to get that certain amount of shares. And I said, okay, well, let's break it down. He said, well, first off, I got 1 1/4 shares of Apple. And then I got 2 1/2 shares of Tesla. And I said, well, you must be balling out of control to be able to buy all of that. So I said, but I'm going to help you out. How many shares do I have in all? So the first thing that we need to do is set these fractions equal to each other. So the highest number here we have is 4. 2 times what equals 4? 2 times 2, okay? 4 times what equals 4? 1. Okay, so now we go 2 times 1 equals 2. And 1 times 1 equals 1. So if we add all that up, we end up with the denominator stay the same because we're just adding the fraction 3/4. Okay, now we can just simply add up the whole numbers, which is 3. So your answer is you now have 3 3/4 total shares of stocks. Okay, so he said, oh, wow, that is fantastic. Well, now that you helped me with that problem, I have another problem. Now, I was watching this other trader, and he subtracted some trades. He sold some shares. So what do I do then? I said, okay, well, let's see. I said, how much did he start off with? He said, well, he started off with 5 1/2 shares of a certain stock, and he wanted to subtract 11/15. Ooh, it's looking scary. That's all he wants to subtract is 11/15. Where's the rest of the problem? Well, here we go. You don't panic. What you do is you go ahead and you simply set up a similar situation. What number can go into both of these? Well, only thing that we know is 30 is an even number. And I know 15 times 2 is 30. So once again, we have 30 as an even number. And then 15 times what equals 30? That's 2. 2 times 11 is 22. But when we get here, 2 times what equals 30? We say 15, and then 15 times 1 is 15. Wait a minute, I don't have enough to subtract all of that. And that's when you have to do a little something like this. At that point in time, you have to borrow a whole number. Okay, so now this goes down to 4, and you let the whole come here. So you say, all right, that whole was 30/30, right? Because that equals 1. The 1 whole we stole from here and turned it to 4 now becomes here. So this is actually 1, but as a fraction, 30/30. Okay, so now if we have this, 15 plus 30 is 45, correct? That is correct. Denominator stays the same. So this becomes essentially 45. Okay, so 45 minus 22. 5 minus 2 is 3. 4 minus 2 is 2. And that is all over 30. And what do we have left? The good old 4. Okay, so the 4 comes down. And there you have it. 4 and 23/30ths is what this person had left after they sold their shares of the stock. Okay, so remember, we just borrowed a whole 1 from this piece and gave it to this piece. Remember, that's what this looks like now. And this was 15. We added our 30. That became 45. Subtracted on down. And that's what we have left. Okay. So last but not least, Aiyetoro said to me, "Wow, Barbecue 2, that's a lot of information. But I would like to know, last from you, is how do I subtract and add multiple mixed numbers?" And I said, "Oh, here we go. Show me what you got." He said, "Well, what if I bought 7 1/4 shares of Apple stock, and then I bought 1 7/9 shares of Tesla stock, and then finally I bought 2 5/6 shares of," let's see, who should we get on? Of Home Depot stock. Okay. So we say, ha. This is an addition problem. This is going to be easy. So what we have to do here is find the common denominator between all 3. So let's go over here and start it off. Okay. What might all of these have in common? Well, I know 4 times 6 is 24, but a 9 cannot go into 24. A 9 times 4 is 36. And also, I know that 6 times 6 is 36. So I think all of us have the 36 in common. Let's start off there. Not a bad idea. So start off with all 36s. Okay. 6 times what equals 36? We don't know, but it is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Excellent. Oh, we're running out of life here. We might have to substitute that in a second. But then we have 9 times what equals 36? That's 4. Okay. Ooh. Here, we're going to substitute this black for blue right now. All right. 4. 4 times 7 is what? 28. And then 4 times what is 36? The answer is, and survey says 9. 9 times 1 is 9. Now remember, we're still adding. So let's add all this up. Okay. 9 plus 28 is 37. Plus 30 more is 67. So you have 67 over 36. But you are not done just yet. You have to turn this fraction back into a mixed number. So this is how you do that. You figure out how many 36s goes into that 67 at the top. Okay? And we realize that if we break it down, 36 goes into 6 0 times. 0 times 0 is 0. 6 and 7 come down now. 36 goes into 67. We would say only once. Okay? 1 times 36 is 36. We subtract it all out. You got a 1 and you got a 3 left, and the remainder is 31. So you have one whole number that you can add to these whole numbers, which we will do first. So let's say 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. And what fraction were we left with? 31 over 36. Okay. because this written as a fraction actually looks like this: 1 in 31 over 36. We moved our 1 here. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. 11 and 31 over 36 is our mixed number from our improper fraction here. So, there you go. 11 and 31 over 36 fractional shares. This has been another episode of Jedi Learning, where we have worked on adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So, this is where you can come for help. This is our pre-algebra for parents class. And once again, you're here at Djedi Institute of Learning, where anyone can learn to learn. Hope to see you soon.